is still active, has not been captured in the intense police operation. The security forces addressed the issue at a press conference at Jamaica House, where they also sought to dismiss claims by Tivoli Gardens residents of widespread abuse at the hands of security personnel. Archibald Gordon reports.
The security forces stormed Tivoli Gardens to get the notorious drug lord, whose own personal militia had launched a never-before-seen attack against the state. In the wake of the operation, 27 people lay dead, with countless others injured, including police and soldiers. But the man they went for, Dudus?
But up to the latest report I've had, the answer is no. Mr. Hines, Colonel?
Our best information is that he is still at large.
The police will not say whether they think Dudus is still in Tivoli Gardens or anywhere else for that matter. They say doing so would compromise the investigation.
Those operational details, I would not be the wisest person to disclose those, not at this time or at most other times.
They won't say either whether charges will be brought against Dudus in relation to the operation. They say they're still investigating. But although they don't have the man they went for, they're taking comfort in the fact that so far they've recovered ballistic vests, army fatigue, guns and ammunition. But at the same time, they're unwilling to say how many guns and how much ammunition they have. As for the people killed, the Jamaica Constabulary Force has sent a release saying they were mostly men found in locations which seem to suggest that they were involved in the gun battle. Today, the military is saying...
I thought you were referring to the specific, yes.
So no women and children out of those?
Not that I have been advised.
Meanwhile, the operation has led to claims and counterclaims. Residents claiming to be from Tivoli Gardens have been calling talk shows, claiming the security forces have been abusing them, including preventing them from carrying injured relatives and friends to hospital.
If there have been abuses, then that will be dealt with by our internal processes. In terms of whether we will take persons who are injured to medical facilities, we have in fact done so on a number of occasions. We have a military aid post set up, and any persons that come to our attention that need any form of assistance, we have provided such assistance.
And of claims that soldiers have been burning bodies, ostensibly in an effort to conceal the number of casualties?
I have no report of that, and that is something that would have to be investigated. But I am fairly confident that I can say, based on our training, our briefing to our troops, our modus operandi, I would be very surprised if there was any such occurrence.
And of claims that the Jamaican government sought help from the United States in the effort, given the type of aircraft seen in the skies over Western Kingston yesterday.
There was no outside assistance in this operation, that is for sure, with full understanding of that.
The question that we asked that Mr. Vaz answered, if you could answer it, did the military get any assistance from the US or any other body?
The minister answered.
So you have the same answer?
Well, I think the minister is in a position to answer the question. Yes. Well, okay. If there was a fighter jet, I would be just as surprised as you are.
Meanwhile, the information minister says people who want to report members of the security forces for cases of abuse during the state of emergency should call 946-1248. Archibald Gordon, TVJ News. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Bruce Golding came out in firm defense of the police operation in Tivoli Gardens in Parliament this afternoon. Lawmakers came to Gordon House under very tight security to hear Mr. Golding make a statement. Darian Henry reports.
The Prime Minister was speaking to MPs against the backdrop of echoing gunfire in the distance and an almost impenetrable security blanket around Gordon House. He said the Golding government regretted the loss of lives as a result of the operation by the security forces. But the Prime Minister said the mayhem facing the security forces made clear the need for extraordinary powers to restore law and order to the corporate area.
During this period of public emergency, a concerted effort will be made to go after the criminal gunmen in whatever community they may be ensconced. The violence that has been unleashed on the society by armed criminal elements must be repelled. The operations being carried out under emergency powers are extraordinary measures, but they are an extraordinary response to an extraordinary challenge to the safety and security of our citizens. Other measures will have to be employed.
Mr. Golding promised MPs that the regulations governing the state of emergency would be brought to the House for approval next week Tuesday in accordance with the Emergency Powers Act. He said the freshly drafted regulations would pave the way for the setting up of a special tribunal to examine cases of persons who have been arrested.
The chairman of the tribunal shall be appointed by the Chief Justice and 2 other members by the Governor General. It is expected that the membership of the tribunal will be announced tomorrow.
The Prime Minister also agreed with a suggestion from opposition leader Portia Simpson-Miller for an oversight body to be set up to monitor the state of emergency. For her part, the opposition leader said if an example is not made of the current developments in West Kingston, the sacrifices of the present will be lost.
Jamaicans will have to take the opportunity once the immediate conflict has subsided, Mr. Speaker, to define a new path and demand higher levels of accountability of those who serve in public life.
Darian Henry, TVJ News.
In the meantime, some West Kingston residents are lashing out against the Golding administration and in particular their MP, Prime Minister Bruce Golding. Some are also angry at the opposition for its challenges to the government on the extradition issue, which triggered the events of the last few days.
Bruce don't step down. Why Bruce don't call this off? We are begging you, please leave innocent people. We can't take it no more. We are hungry. We can't do nothing more. We are begging you.
Bruce Golding has a right to go to jail. He know all about this, and he makes so much innocent people dead right now. Bruce Golding is behind this. Him to go to jail right now.
Peter Phillips told Bruce we have to go American law because them ain't get 3 months for extradite and it never extradite. And the same law, them. I see a law they show Bruce and the same law Bruce can't. So Peter Phillips not sell out that same way. I sell out over Spanish Town. That's why Peter Phillips can't get no vote again.
Meanwhile, our news team was just in time to see some of the injured being taken to hospital. Security personnel were manning the Kingston Public Hospital.
The Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says the government has started to prepare a response to the negative image of Jamaica in the international